You ever notice one of those kind of houses in the neighborhood that's had for sale signs and for rent signs, and people move in and people move out, and you ask yourself what is going on over there now? Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into one of those kind of houses. It's this house here behind me. It's affectionately known to the folks in my office as the $1 Million Eviction House. And recently I began to wonder whatever happened to the $1 Million Eviction House. So I decided to do some follow-up to see what the current market status is of this house today. And what I found took me from one rabbit hole down another. But the information that turned up makes for a very interesting case study on investor failures and lender foreclosures. And I'd like to share that with you today. I'm Tony. This is Run the Comps. Here we go. Welcome back to Run the Comps, where we value up your real estate game. So today we're talking about the $1 Million Eviction House, and I became involved with this property last year when a broker friend of mine called me over to document the eviction process that was taking place after the lender had foreclosed on it and the occupant failed to voluntarily vacate. So the lender went through with an eviction process in the courts and got their writ of possession. And here's how that went. Hey y'all, it's Tony and Joe here, and we're out here today to talk a little bit about evictions because we have an eviction that's going to be taking place right behind us here in this property right back here. Unfortunately, these folks they had a foreclosure, and apparently they have not vacated per the orders of the foreclosure, so we're having to follow through with an eviction on this property. The constable is here. We're going to have to gain entry to the property. It doesn't look like anybody's home, but there are dogs present, and so it's going to be a process today. It's an unfortunate situation. We don't ever like to get involved with these things, but sometimes during the course of our business, this is what we have to do. So when it finally comes down to a day like this where the constable shows up and an eviction has to be served, there's generally a lot of things that happen prior to this that would allow for the borrower and the occupant to vacate the premises, but I guess in their efforts to stall the foreclosure and stall the eviction, it's come down to this. And so these folks are going to have to vacate the property. All right, so Joe's been in the property here for the last few minutes, and you got a little update for us, Joe? What's going on here?
Yeah, so we have a 2-hour gap, but it seems like we're going to move everything out in about less than an hour. We're going to put everything on the curve. The current previous owner hired a moving company. He's going to move the rest of his remainings. So once everything is taken out from inside the house, we're going to go inside, position ourselves, change the locks, and tour the property and see anything that we need to notice to let the lender know.
All right, as you can see, there's still a lot of activity going on at the eviction house here this morning across the street behind me. They're moving stuff out from the house into the yard. The seller did hire that moving truck right over here, so he's got guys who will help take things from the yard, move it into the truck, and get things out of here. It's a big house, so this may take a little bit longer than what we anticipated, but things are moving along rather smoothly at this point. So while we're here waiting for the locksmith to show up, it seems as though the former owner is here trying to take things like appliances that are built in. He's currently in there pulling some speakers out of the wall, I guess custom speakers or something like that, which really, in all honesty, shouldn't be an issue here. But as soon as we can get this property secured, then whatever's not out is not out, and he won't be allowed back in. So you can see these guys, they're moving the big gas range out, Trying to get all the cars out of the garage right now. And we've got to...
We're about to lock it in.
Yeah.
So he doesn't keep taking stuff.
Yeah. So it looks like we got the garage cleaned out here. All the cars out in the driveway. And they are securing the garage doors now. And expecting the locksmith to show up anytime now so we can get the rest of this property secured. All right, now we got the house secured and we're gonna be taking off here soon. So we got guys putting stuff into the moving van. We've got folks kind of hanging around, making sure the house is secure. The guy who owned the property previously, he's left for the moment, and he'll probably be back to get some more of his stuff out of the yard. So anyway, it's pretty unordinary event. It's sad that we have to do these kind of things, but again, just gotta reiterate that if you get in trouble with your mortgage, please reach out, get some help before it gets to this point, because this is it's very unsettling. It's no fun to have to be a part of this kind of stuff, but unfortunately, this is the reality of it. Well, that was kind of depressing, huh? As I said, I became curious to see what the market status was, and so I started digging into the local MLS and public records to do some research on the property. What I found during my research was a market history that dated back to 2007. There was a series of sales that took place that started when the property was listed by agent Mike in 2006 for $499,000. The listing said it had been reduced by $100,000 at that time. I couldn't find any previous listing records to verify that, but I'll just take the listing agent's word for it. So the agent listed the property at $499,000, but it wasn't really this property. And that listing showed a classic ranch style home built in 1962 that was 3,670 square feet. So that takes us back to our original question. So what's going on there now? Well, there was a series of sales that took place after that initial sale in 2006 and 2007. And I'd like to show that information to you, and then it will probably start to make a little more sense about how we got to where we are today. So let's head back over to the office and take a look. By the way, if you're thinking about selling your property or buying into some investment property, then we would love to hear from you. It won't cost you anything to reach out to us for a free sell before you list consultation. We guarantee that we will bring you multiple offers and listing strategies within the first 7 days so that you can decide what works best for you. Our contact information can be found below in the description. All right, so we got out of that hot Texas heat. Man, it's hot out there today. And we're back here in the office where we got the air conditioner blowing. It's nice and cool. So let's keep talking about what happened to the $1 Million Eviction House. Well, we know that this series of sales, it began in 2006. The house actually sold early 2007 for $470,000, right? Well, the next sale that happened on this property happened in 2010 because the comments in Agent Jerry's listing said that the house has some roof damage. It's a renovation in progress. They're looking for an investor who's willing to invest. Oh, and it says possible short sale. Short sales were pretty popular back in 2010 during the Great Recession, if you recall. Now, when a house goes into a short sale, that means that somebody's losing money here, right? Probably the previous lender is losing money. The investor who bought it and borrowed money from that lender is losing money. And so everybody's taking a hit on this one. Well, the property eventually sells in October of 2010. And it looks like it went to another investor. I mean, after all, at $305,000 with a renovation in progress in a prime neighborhood, I mean, what investor wouldn't find that to be an attractive opportunity for them? The big clue that makes me think that the property was sold to another investor there in 2010 is that the property resurfaced again on the open market in 2012, a couple of years later. Agent Jerry again has got this listing, and he's got it out there now at $415,000. The property's described as beautifully renovated. It's got custom features and designer touches throughout. So just 2 years ago, this house sold for $305,000, and now it's listed for $415,000. Sounds like somebody might make some money, right? Well, I find another comment in this new listing that raises another flag of trouble here. This comment says that the property was originally listed at $629,000, but the lender currently has it priced for a quick sale, quick close, no hassles. This is noted to be a hard money lender this time. So that was the clue that told me, hey, maybe this previous sale was an investor. They used a hard money loan. Well, doesn't look like now that this is working out as well as what it may seem on the surface. I was unable to find any confirmation of a listing at $629,000, but it might have been some sort of off-market deal. I don't know, but Agent Jerry says it was originally listed at $629,000. Lender has obviously foreclosed on it, or maybe they're doing another short sale. Not really sure because it wasn't specified, but they are looking to offload this thing pretty quick and easy. Public records show that a company called Aston Custom Homes has purchased the property. And according to their Facebook page, Aston Custom Homes has a pretty good track record of high-level renovations and luxury remodels. And so it appears that yet another investor has purchased this property, which seems to make sense if it's deeply discounted, but it's already been renovated. So why would a renovator want to purchase a home that's already been renovated? The next sale tells a lot more of the story. So it takes 5 years, but in 2017, the property comes back on the market. But this time, it's not a 1962 ranch style home that's 3,600 square feet. No. This time, it's described as an exquisite showstopper. Folks, this is a brand new build. It took 5 years to build a brand new home over here. And now it's got 4,600 square feet and a beautiful pool in the backyard. And they've listed the property this time for $1.95 million. So that brings us to today. And when I went to do my market research on this, I was just simply looking to see if the property had been resold or not. My broker friend, Joe, that was in the eviction video, his office listed the property, and they listed it at $2 million in 2024 after doing some light renovations to make sure it's clean and ready to go. I mean, after all, if you're going to market a home of that type at such a high price point, you want everything to look really good, right? Well, and it did look really good. It showed really well. And this time the list price is at $2 million. So this is post-COVID now. Perhaps market values in the area have somewhat caught up to what the builder thought it was originally worth. So the property was out there listed at $2 million for a few months, and then the bank lender decided to reduce the price down to about 1.89 million or some such number. And now the good news is that the property is actually under contract with a new buyer. Let's just hope that this time the buyer that buys this house is actually going to move in it and live there and enjoy it like it's supposed to be. It's really kind of crazy how some homes just seem to attract people whose dreams are bigger than their budget or their ability to follow through. Foreclosures and evictions are no fun to deal with at all. When we do forensic property data research, It often turns up information and clues that will help us to reconstruct the historical details and market history of a property. And what we know about this property is that since 2006 or 2007, it's had at least one foreclosure, if not more, and at least one short sale, if not more. So on at least 3 occasions, this property was in distress, and it eventually worked itself out though over the course of time. We would love to hear about more cases like this from you. Drop us a comment down below and be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you found interest in today's content. We sure do appreciate that. I'm Tony. Be sure to run the comps before you sell or buy, and don't bite off more than you can chew. See you next time.